Hey, what's going on guys? The Langbanger here. I have a new video for you and I wanted to go over the new structure deck that just released this weekend. So as you can see by looking at the box, it is Traptrix. So this is a really cool deck, trap based. I think just over time the deck has really evolved because all the way back in the day, I mean, we had like a couple of trap tricks. There was one that searched, there's one that summoned from the grave, and yada yada. And then, of course, all the way at the beginning, trap hole. Then you also got bottomless, and then we kept just getting trap holes over the years. So really, it's almost like this deck is like 20 years in the making, just about. It's just probably at the time of Trap Hole coming out, maybe we didn't know that this would turn into a deck. So that's really cool. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you guys the back of the video, or the back of the box, and then you can just pause. And if you guys just wanna look at the spoiler, that's fine. And then if you wanna bounce, cool. Or if you wanna stick around and see what I think about the deck, that's cool too. So. All right, so I do give Konami a pat on the back every now and then. There's some things that they do really, really well, and I will say that structure decks are very, very good. I'm trying to even think. I mean, the last one I believe was Dark World, and then before that was Crystal Beast. Maybe flip-flop those in order. I forget. So those were all really good. And then even before that, it was a couple years back, there was Salamangreat. Just overall, they do structure decks really well. And what I think makes a good structure deck is the deck as a whole is functionable as a whole. See? Didn't even notice that pun until I said it afterwards. So just a playable deck. I don't want to say right out of the box, because of course when you're thinking as a company, of course they got to make some money. So there's going to be some cards that you will need outside of this deck. But I think that the Traptrix cards themselves, I think you pretty much got everything. You may just want to upgrade the extra deck a little bit, maybe throw a couple of pot cards in there. I mean, the deck's has a decent bit of monsters, really heavy on the traps, and then maybe a couple of spells. At least that's the way that the deck used to function. Maybe things might open up a little bit because they did get some good spells. So let's just go into these cards. So this is a new one, Traptrix Putica. And from that, when this card is normal summon, you can add a Traptrix Garden from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is special summon, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, banish it. Also, during the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon one of their banished monsters. So that's really good. So right off the bat, you're summoning this, searching out a card. If it's special summon, you can banish something and let you go in, make a big play, but just know that maybe something that you banish, maybe it has some effect that can be reused or, something. So just be aware of that. So really cool card. I don't know how many of this you would use. I'll be honest, I really haven't looked at this deck, in general. But one thing that they did do really well is they fixed the issue that the deck had to where you needed to, summon multiple times in a turn. So of course, like once you got your Traptrix into the graveyard, you were okay, but maybe just getting there to start. Here's Traptrix Garden. So during your main phase, you can normal summon one Traptrix in addition to your normal summon set. And then the first time an insect or plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. So just know, I'm not saying to throw this in Insectors or, some other plant or insect deck or something, but yeah, that is a thing. And then you can banish one monster you control, special summon one Traptrix monster from your hand or graveyard. So that's really cool. A double summon built in. You can search this out. You can do terraforming, metaverse, etc., etc. At least I don't think terraforming's banned yet, so gotta excuse me, I've kind of been out of the loop, a little bit here and there. So here's a new card. This might be my favorite card out of the structure deck, just because of the versatility toolbox that it has. So you can discard one level 4 insect or plant monster, or one normal trap, draw 2 cards, and then you can banish this card from your grave, target one of your banished level 4 insect or plant or normal traps, and place it on the bottom of the deck. So that's really cool, like a destiny draw, a draw 2. So this can be for any insect or plant deck. It doesn't say Traptrix. And then also it says one normal trap. So you instantly think something like for Eldritch or maybe Paleozoic, like something that wants traps in the grave to go off. So this is really cool. And I could see this just being big money down the line. So that's how I feel on that. New Exceed, Traptrix Pingiacola. When this card has material, it's unaffected by trap effects. I think they all pretty much have that, except I guess that being trap effects, I think a lot of them say unaffected by whole cards, so that's pretty cool. Detach one material from this card, add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. So that's really cool. And then if a monster owned by your opponent is sent to the grave or banished by a card effect, you can attach one of those materials to this card as a material. So that's really cool. So we already know how the deck used to function. You used to be able to summon. You could go Sarah. I mean, you would also use Traptrix or the Phantom Knight Brigade or whatever it was called. That way you could do your double summon. So you can kind of see how the deck's evolving a little bit. And now you can climb up into these Exceeds or make bigger links. So here's a new link. Traptrix Oedipus. Quite the names. So you need 2+ monsters, including an insect or plant monster. So that's a link 3. This link summon card is unaffected by trap effects. All Traptrix monster you control gain 1,000 attack while you have a normal trap in your graveyard. So that's pretty much a given. Once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of insect or plant monsters you control. Negate their effects until the end of this turn. And then you can apply this effect, banish a normal trap in your grave, and if you do, destroy one of those target face-up cards. So that's pretty cool. Dark Roller No More of sorts, banish a trap to pop, and then because the monster was affected, then you have a better, or unaffected, or effectless, I guess, then you have a better chance of getting rid of it. And then I could also see how that's working with the Traptolani Tune. Holy shit, these cards. I could kind of see where they're going with that already. So here's a new monster, Traptrix. I'm not even going to try and say that because I've just been butchering all these names. So, unaffected by the effect of whole normal traps. The first time a set card in your spell and trap zone will be destroyed by a card effect each turn, it's not destroyed. So just know that effect. I mean, it is a 4-star insect, 1,300 attack. You could use that in another deck just to protect, but just kind of free forming there for ideas. During your main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except insect or plant monsters. So that's pretty cool. And if I'm not mistaken, you should be able to summon a Traptrix, and then you should be able to chain block with this so that there's a less chance that, you know, the monster can be negated, if I'm not mistaken. So that's crazy. I mean, I've been around in this game for like 2 decades, and just the rollings and, you know, interactions, of course, it's evolved over the years. I myself cannot keep up, but, you know, I'm still gonna buy cards and, you know, casually play. So here is a card everyone's happy about, and this is super rare too. Evenly Matched. So this was a card that was reprinted a couple times now, and if you're really old school and you've never seen this card before, you're gonna read this and be like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's a thing. So it's really cool that they reprinted this again, something easy to get. So I paid $30 for 3 decks total, so 10 a piece. This, I mean, this is probably going to be at least $5, and then I could see it even rising over time. So really, it's like spending $30 to get 3 evenly matches. I think Ash Blossom is in this too. I mean, that's just really good value. You're breaking even on just a couple cards, and we didn't even get through all the good reprints yet. So I think I was the first reprint, and all the other cards were new cards so far. So that's really good. So, and that's kind of what I meant, like the last structures that they've been doing, that's all it takes. Like, make the deck pretty good out of the box, maybe add, a couple $100 to it, and then maybe you got a fringe, deck that could like do well at locals. I think that's good. And then the reprints, if you just throw a couple good ones in there, then the structure deck is a win to me. So already it's like, I could almost say what I've showed you is worth the money. But we didn't get to the really good stuff or the additional good stuff. So here's a new card, Traptrix Holitea. So this pretty much is their own Brigadine. So you can activate this card to turn it with set by discarding 1 normal trap. So special summon this card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Traptrix monster from your grave, special summon it. So it is a trap monster, and then also you can summon a Traptrix from your grave. So I think you would still use Brigadine, just because that's very valuable, just to get 2 monsters out on the field. Don't quote me on that, because we do have the garden now, so there are ways to just summon multiple times, and then that guy, or that girl I should say, there's just multiple ways to get 2 monsters out and just get plays going. So we do have some reprints. Traptrix Atrax, you have Mirmello, you have Nepenthes, you have Dionea, you have Genelesia. So this is a newer card, but it's not new in the structure. So that came out, I forget what set, and then it was in a Megaton, I believe. So that's cool. This is another kind of newer one, Traptrix Vesiculo. So I did not sit down and do like a checklist, like what Traptrix are missing, but this deck just looks really good to me just right out of the gate. So, of course, like the newer cards are blinged, but the older ones are not, and you could do that on your own time, but like pretty much all these, there are foil variants out there, so just if you want to bling it. So I always really like seeing this. Kaiju reprints, you have Gandarla, you have Kumungous. So that's really cool. I mean, ever since Kaijus came out, I read those and I'm like, these are just going to be, I don't want to say a staple for years to come, but they're just really good cards. And I'm kind of that type where it's like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money in the game, but like if I read a card and I say, wow, this can be good in multiple decks, like multiple formats, it doesn't matter how far down the road, like it's good, then I'll get it probably. Or at least wait for a reprint for it to come down in value a little bit. But yeah, like right off the bat, I got 3 of every Kaiju because I was like, yeah, these are freaking good. You have Retaliating Sea. So I can't remember. I know Max C was in the OCG version of this deck, and I don't know if they took out Max C and put in this, or they added something else. I forget. But, I mean, that's a cool reprint. I mean, a lot of those C cards are actually good, and I could see them being good down the road. So, they have been good in the past, and, they may be good again. You have Resonance Insect. That's cool. Lindfire Blossom. That's cool. I don't really think that was like a lot of money or anything, but like old format decks and all that, I'm all for getting multiple copies of a card, just keeping it cheap and affordable. So Ash Blossom. So for the longest time, and I mean, it might even be a little different too, or it might be the same trend, I should say. Ash Blossom, of course, it's been good ever since it dropped. Depending on the rarity, it started off as a secret, then we got like an ultra, and then a common, and then I don't think it was ever ulti, but pretty much this was just always money, and I think it's going to stay that way. So, of course, it's not going to be price-wise like the secret, but even I could see this being like $5 a couple months down the road. Because once a stack is like out of print or like people just buy them out, like I said, I think that you've even seen enough, and we're still only like halfway through this stack. You've seen enough to where it's like, yeah, this is worth it, $10. I mean, just the evenly, the ash, that's good value. So you have Rose Lover, you have Sage de Fleur. I can't remember if that was a promo only or if they've reprinted it again, but I guess that's a cool reprint. These are really cool. Mekk-Knight, Purple Nightfall, and Blue Sky. So I don't think they were crazy pricey, but that's just like one of those like engines for a deck. Like, that's cool to just see commons, right? Because just to keep things affordable, nothing wrong with that. Artifact Moral Tech. I believe that was the other artifact, and they probably pulled it, and that was Scythe. I couldn't think of the name at first. I think that they swapped that out because we just lost Scythe, I believe. So that's a really good reprint. Fire Hand, Ice Hand, Thunder Hand. So I don't want to say the Thunder Hand doesn't matter as much, but that Fire Hand and Ice Hand, like, if you guys played like years back, there was a deck called Hat, and that was Hand's Artifact Traptrix. I think that it was all merged into one deck, and it was pretty cool. But Fire Hand and Ice Hand, when they dropped, I was like, wow, you really made that, because basically you could just do a whole chain and pop all these cards, and that's just crazy. So I think people play that format too, which was quite a number of years back. So I'm all for reprints there. Thunder Hand is a newer one, but that's cool they included it. No problem. All right, so I'll give myself some space. So we also have Raigeki. Some people say it's not needed. I don't care. I mean, this is, I don't want to say staple, but just a power card, another version, you know, another copy, common, cool. I'm totally fine with that. Just like Harpy's Feather Duster. Like, how could I complain about that? Duster is used all the time. Raigeki, I don't think is being used as much, and Dark Hole I actually think is. I'm not really sure the application why, but again, no complaints on my end. All right, so you have Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. So this is a new card, I'm pretty sure. If your opponent has special summon a monster this turn, target one monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack, destroy it. Then if you have a whole normal trap in your grave, you can banish one monster from your opponent's grave. So that's pretty cool. I wish that said banished, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You know, just more support for a deck. I mean, I'll take it. It's just, you hear destroy and you just think like, okay, there's probably a lot of ways to stop that nowadays. So that's the whole reason I said that. The OG Trap Hole. Card itself didn't even know it would be a deck someday, but here we are. Bottomless, you have two of those. Void Trap Hole. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, you have two of those. Floodgates, you have Gravediggers. That was a good reprint. I don't think that was money though, but Floodgates, freaking crazy. Traptrix, that's always welcome. The Brigadine, that's cool. Artifact Sanctum. Naturia's Sacred Tree. I think it was one of those cards that was like at a Starstrike Blast or some set, and it was just money. So it's like, hey, cool. Reprint, no complaints. And then we got some extra deck cards. So you have Rafflesia, you have Elamiris, you have Caleria. Caleria is a newer one. It kind of came out with that Vesiculu and the other one. I forget the name. So that's cool. Traptrix Sarah, that's been out a couple years now. But I think that needed that reprint pretty badly. So that's cool. I don't understand the logic sometimes, but for some reason there's a Traptrix Mantis all the way at the end. You would have thought that would have been at the beginning of the deck, but yeah. So really good structure deck. Like I said, I would recommend picking this up, even if you just want to casually play with friends. I think you could just buy 3 of these, build a deck. If you want to buy 3 just for the reprints, that's cool. And then you got just, you know, a fringe rogue deck, you know, on the side. So yeah, I'm definitely going to build a deck for this. I will at least do a 3-structure profile for you. That way you guys can kind of get an idea of like, you know, what I would do with the deck if I went to a tournament. And then of course you have these 2 things at the end. But thank you guys for watching and have a good day. Peace.